So look at just take a look at this image. Just take a look at this image. Uh you would you're feeling awful, right? I'm also feeling it. It's just something we have to learn. See, don't ever make a design like this. Don't ever make a design like this. Why is this design bad? You already start saying it. You're already saying it. It is not, even though there is contrast, the background is different from the foreground and everything, but it doesn't make sense. Like, alignment is off, the design is not giving, nothing in the design. In fact, there's no repetition of font is not here. Like, they use different fonts. We have a comic font, a sans serif, a sans serif font. This design is awful anyways. Let's just talk about why a bad design is a bad design. So, the one, confusion and miscommunication is just the opposite of a good design. A bad design is the opposite of a good design. Lack of attention to detail, visual dissonance, poor functionality, I mean low lack of emotion. It's just the opposite of good design. So don't let us dwell more about this. Just note that a bad design is a design that is, one, not following the full principle of design, and it doesn't resonate with the user, and it just lacks everything about a good design. So, example, we have this, and what makes this a bad design is because of white space. Even though this design looks great, because we can see um we can see the use of contrast here. The use of contrast is there, and the use of images are there. However, the hierarchy and white space is off. White space, I don't mean there are spaces in this design such that there's breathing space in this design. This design would have been greater than what we have here. So white space is not in this design, and hierarchy is also lacking in this design. Contrast is okay, but alignment is off, white space is off, and some other principle of designs are also off. So, and this is even worse. This is also an example of a bad design. This is also an example of a bad design. If we look at this, too much of colors, we don't even know which one to look at. Too much of color, we have the red, we have the blue, we have green, we have yellow, we have black, we have darker blue, we have lighter red. This, and the fonts are not consistent. I'll be talking about fonts, how I use my font, the rules of three that I use in my design. I've talked about it the other time. I don't use more than three. In fact, font, I don't use more than two. One, two. That's all. If I'm going to use the third font, then it has to be once. So that's all. If in any of your design, just make sure that both your font and your color are not more than three. So the primary, the secondary, and the accent font, the primary, the secondary, and the accent color. So uh what's it called? Alignment is off, and you can mention a lot of things that are wrong with this design. And also, yeah, this design looks cool. If you check it, this design, if you look at it again, it looks cool. However, now, to praise this design, we have contrast is well used, alignment is well used. What is lacking here? White space. White space is lacking. This design, if they had reduced all of this a little bit, and they've then hierarchy is also not in this design. Hierarchy, we don't even know which one we are looking at first. We don't know which one. Hierarchy is off, but contrast and alignment to some extent are well used. It is not well aligned, but to some extent it's better than what we are seeing here. This alignment is rubbish, but however, this alignment a little bit is looking good, that if they had reduced all of this a little bit and gave us what they want us to see first and what they want us to see second, it would have been a better design. So all of these principles has to come together to play their role in a particular design. This design is the worst of them all. Contrast, rubbish. Hierarchy, rubbish. They almost use hierarchy. Recycling day, we saw that. But white space, rubbish. And also just make sure that you apply all these principles, especially the principle of alignment, because most time our eyes used to overlook alignment. Alignment, make sure that you are paying attention to that. Then white space, hierarchy, contrast, all of these are very important in your design. So, and what else are we supposed to talk about? Let's get to know in the next video.